It's always fabulous when we have a chance to catch up with a guy who can give us some news we can use. Scott Cooke from the South Carolina Department of Consumer Affairs joins us. Scott, the topic of the day is passwords on our computers. I have a bunch of them. In fact, I have a whole sheet of them in my desk drawer of trying to remember them and getting them into my computers. There's been a huge breach nationwide that maybe should have us all thinking about resetting them. Tell us about the breach and what we should be doing about it.
Yeah, there's a lot of reports out there that 16 billion with the B billion passwords posted online on various platforms and different places, and they involve some pretty important accounts. So login information about Facebook, Google, Apple, all the big ones that we all probably use.
Yeah.
And they all have a lot of really valuable information about us in some of those. So we're really encouraging folks to go in, change those passwords and make sure that they're strong. So kind of the recommended number is 16, which we know is a good bit, and that can be hard to remember when they're 16, but you also want to make sure you're not reusing them on everything. So, we always tell people you don't want somebody to get into your Netflix account and be able to get into your, your banking account with the same passwords and things like that. So you might want to take a look at these things, see what may be exposed with you. A password manager might be a good option to go with. I just used one this morning to go through some of mine, and they found 30 different accounts that were either exposed somewhere online or ones that I had reused and needed to take a closer look at and strengthen them up. So that's kind of a good resource for all of us.
Yeah, password manager, what's that?
Yeah, you can use them either, a lot of accounts will offer them. Apple has one that they offer. Google has some that they offer. Some experts kind of, disagree if you should use those that are built into those types of things, but you really want to take advantage of something that will help you manage those. Like I said, they'll kind of monitor, breaches and things for you and show you those exposed ones. Sometimes they'll show you, like I said, reusing those passwords. I had a couple of accounts that I reused passwords for and didn't even realize it. So I was able to kind of go in and change some of those up a little bit and strengthen those. But kind of the big thing, if you're using those types of password managers on, your phone or whatever, make sure you're securing that main password associated with those password managers, and that that one, and that you can kind of secure everything under that one big umbrella with that.
All right. What's the most important thing? Having a long string of letters and numbers in a password, or having a fewer but having symbols involved? If I would just wanted to have maybe 4 or 5 passwords that I used for the 30 or 40 different things I wanted to do, is there a smarter way to do that?
Well, they say longer is stronger. So the longer your passwords are, the harder, it's going to be for somebody else to get in there. Again, making them unique would be kind of the key to that too. So maybe you make them a little bit different. I know some folks who will make them random by kind of going through a favorite page of a book, or maybe something like that, and they'll pick one sentence or one line and go down and use those letters.
Yeah, a sentence. I've used that, the sentence idea once or twice, and it seems to make a lot of sense, because it does give you a lot of letters that you can remember, because it is in a string. That may be a good way to go.
Like that may work, but really one of the big keys that we can all do is just set up 2-factor authentication. A lot of times it's free, and it's that tool that the FBI tells us it makes it twice as hard for people to get into your account. So even if they do end up getting that password, they're not going to be able to get into those accounts because they don't have that code that's being sent to you in a text message, or sometimes it might be the face scan, something like that. But really take advantage of 2-factor authentication, especially email and financial accounts.
Okay. Are those face scans and the touch IDs, using your thumbprint and whatever, are they pretty good? Are they pretty reliable?
Yeah, and a lot of big accounts are starting to kind of move that way as far as getting rid of passwords and using, they call them a pass key. Right. Where you'll use that face scan or that thumbprint or that thing that's unique to you. They're kind of setting it up on a lot of accounts where that is the way to get in instead of passwords too. So, as things develop, there'll always be ways that they strengthen it, and there'll probably be ways that criminals figure out to get around it as well too. So really just kind of keep an eye on all of those, and also kind of monitor all your financial accounts as well to make sure nobody's gotten into anything that you're not aware of.
Scott, great information. We appreciate the help as always. Scott Cooke from the South Carolina Department of Consumer Affairs. You guys have a website that folks can access all kinds of information, right?
Yes, consumer.sc.gov. We have a lot of good scam information, tips to help you avoid scams, but also if you've fallen victim of identity theft or a scam, you can report that to our agency, and we have a group of folks who can kind of help walk you through that process and see what steps you might need to take to kind of minimize the damage as well.
Thanks, Scott. We appreciate it.
Thank you.